The story immediately grabs attention with the phrase 30 seconds to hide, instantly establishing a sense of urgency that permeates the entire narrative. From the very first moment, the reader is thrust into a high-stakes scenario where time is not a luxury, but a critical factor determining the protagonist's survival or failure. This type of setup is a hallmark of suspenseful storytelling because it creates tension that keeps the audience on the edge of their seat. The protagonist's actions must be immediate and calculated, forcing both the character and the reader to focus intensely on each passing second. In doing so, the story generates a natural rhythm of rapid pacing, mimicking the heartbeat-like intensity of the situation and immersing the audience in the immediacy of the moment. Every decision carries weight, and even a split-second miscalculation could have dramatic consequences, which amplifies the stakes and heightens emotional investment in the narrative. The choice to enter the billionaire's private bathroom is particularly telling about the protagonist's mindset and instincts. It demonstrates resourcefulness and the ability to think quickly under extreme pressure. The bathroom, seemingly ordinary and private, becomes an unexpected sanctuary and a clever tactical move, highlighting the protagonist's intelligence and ingenuity. This action conveys that survival depends not just on speed, but also on strategic thinking, which adds a layer of psychological engagement for the reader. The audience is compelled to anticipate what the character will do next and how effectively they can navigate the constraints of the environment within the limited time. The ticking clock motif, inherent in the 30 seconds, adds a continuous, almost visceral tension, as readers are acutely aware that the window for escape or concealment is shrinking with each passing moment. Moreover, the narrative device of limited time serves to define the protagonist's character instantly. It reveals courage, quick decision-making, and the ability to adapt under duress, all of which are traits that draw the audience into rooting for the character. By emphasizing the narrow time frame, the story also naturally encourages a dynamic and cinematic approach to storytelling. Readers are likely to visualize the scene vividly, the frantic search for a hiding spot, the mental calculations racing in the protagonist's mind, and the palpable threat lurking nearby. This heightened sense of immediacy ensures that every detail becomes significant, from the environment the protagonist chooses to the potential risks of discovery. Ultimately, the use of 30 seconds to hide does more than create suspense. It immerses the reader directly into the protagonist's predicament. It establishes a framework where tension, decision-making, and resourcefulness intersect, driving the narrative forward at a breakneck pace. The urgency ensures that every action, every choice, and every second counts, compelling the audience to engage fully with the story and experience the intensity of the moment as though they are part of the high-pressure chase. This focus on time-sensitive action forms the backbone of the story's thrilling and suspenseful atmosphere, making it impossible for the reader to look away. The protagonist's decision to hide in the billionaire's private bathroom immediately introduces a setting steeped in exclusivity, power, and high stakes, which dramatically shapes the story's tension and intrigue. This choice is not arbitrary. It is a calculated risk that highlights both the danger of the situation and the audacity of the character. By entering a space that belongs to someone wealthy and powerful, the protagonist is stepping into a world that is inherently
restricted and controlled, where security, surveillance, and privacy are paramount. The bathroom, typically a private and secure environment, symbolizes the intersection of vulnerability and opportunity. It is a space where the ordinary rules of intrusion collide with extraordinary consequences, creating a compelling contrast between the protagonist's desperate need to hide and the elite world into which they have intruded. This juxtaposition enriches the narrative, providing a backdrop that heightens both tension and curiosity. The billionaire's domain, suggested by the private bathroom, implies an environment where wealth and power dictate the rules, and any breach of this space could have severe ramifications. The reader immediately understands that the stakes are high, not just in terms of immediate danger from pursuers, but also in terms of potential consequences from entering the billionaire's private world. This adds layers to the story, suggesting a complex social hierarchy and the protagonist's audacious navigation of it. By choosing such a space, the protagonist is demonstrating adaptability and courage, but also walking a fine line between tactical genius and recklessness. The story benefits from this tension because it offers multiple avenues of suspense: the threat from whomever is pursuing the protagonist and the looming threat of discovery by the billionaire or their security. Each element amplifies the reader's anticipation and engagement. Furthermore, the setting implicitly conveys a sense of luxury, opulence, and exclusivity. Bathrooms in a billionaire's residence are likely not ordinary. They may be grand, well-secured, and equipped with high-end features that signify wealth and status. This gives the story a cinematic quality, allowing readers to visualize a lavish yet highly controlled environment where the protagonist must remain unseen. Every movement, every sound, every detail of the surroundings becomes potentially consequential, intensifying the suspense. The protagonist's interaction with this elite space also reflects on their resourcefulness, as they must adapt to unfamiliar terrain that is both protective and threatening. In addition, this setting serves as a narrative device to explore contrasts between the protagonist and the world they have entered. The billionaire's private bathroom represents a life of comfort, privilege, and meticulous control, while the protagonist's desperate hiding spot embodies vulnerability, improvisation, and immediacy. This stark contrast deepens the narrative tension, making the protagonist's actions more daring and the story more engaging. The audience is drawn to the collision of these worlds, curious about how the protagonist will navigate the physical space while also negotiating the social and symbolic weight it carries. Ultimately, the choice of hiding in the billionaire's private bathroom does more than provide a temporary sanctuary. It situates the protagonist within a high-stakes, visually rich, and socially charged environment that amplifies suspense, underscores character ingenuity, and elevates the narrative from a simple chase to a layered, tension-filled drama. It's a decision that transforms the setting into a character itself, one that challenges, threatens, and tests the protagonist at every moment. The ellipses in the title, "and went into the billionaire's private bathroom," create an immediate sense of mystery and suspense, inviting the reader to ask countless questions before the story even begins. By leaving the sentence incomplete, the title suggests that something significant is about to unfold, but the outcome remains unknown. Highly effective in thrillers and suspense-driven stories because it triggers curiosity and engages the reader's imagination. The mind naturally attempts to fill in the blanks, speculating about why the protagonist is hiding, who is pursuing them, and what might happen once they enter this private, exclusive space. This deliberate ambiguity transforms the act of reading into an active experience, as the audience becomes invested in discovering the answers and unraveling the narrative secrets. Suspense in this context is built around anticipation and the unknown. Readers are acutely aware that the protagonist's choice to enter the billionaire's private bathroom is unusual and risky, but they do not yet know the consequences. This uncertainty creates a tension that is both psychological and emotional, compelling readers to stay engaged. Suspense thrives on such unpredictability, where the outcome is never guaranteed and danger can emerge from multiple sources. The bathroom, an ostensibly safe and private place, is transformed into a potential trap, and the mere act of hiding becomes a source of anxiety. Every creak, every door movement, or unexpected sound could spell discovery, and the reader shares in the protagonist's heightened awareness. This alignment of reader and character perception is a hallmark of suspense, drawing the audience deeply into the narrative's emotional landscape. The title's phrasing also hints at deeper narrative layers, suggesting that the protagonist's situation is not merely about immediate survival, but involves clever navigation of social hierarchies and elite environments. Who the billionaire is, what they own, and how secure their private spaces are all become points of intrigue. The suspense is amplified because the reader must anticipate interactions not only with pursuers, but potentially with the billionaire themselves, security personnel, or unexpected obstacles within the luxurious setting. Each of these possibilities contributes to a multi-dimensional tension that goes beyond simple hiding. It blends elements of strategy, deception, and risk management. Additionally, suspense is heightened by the brevity and immediacy of the situation. The protagonist is operating under severe time constraints, and the ellipses suggest a continuation, implying that the outcome of this split-second decision is yet to be revealed. This narrative choice reinforces the unpredictability of the story, making the audience eager to see what happens next. The unresolved nature of the title acts as a hook, ensuring that readers are emotionally and mentally invested in the unfolding drama, anticipating twists and turns that could dramatically alter the protagonist's fate. The allure of the unknown, paired with the high-pressure circumstances, makes this story an exemplary case of suspenseful telestorying.